I hope you're having a wonderful evening. How is everyone doing? This is Retro Nerd Girl, and I'm broadcasting live from the International Science Fiction Space Station. And today we are going to be going over Gargoyles. This will be our third week, and we have a certain amount of episodes that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing season 1, episode 6, 7, and 8. And I will be doing this with Mamabear Artdoll, who is in the chat right now. So good to see you, Mamabear Artdoll. How are you? And I'm gonna start off with the comments here right away. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Grumpy Old Ninja Kentaro Oe is here. How are you doing? Wow. I see. It says, Hola, hail, retro nerd girl, Mamabear Adult, and chat. Missed your Total Recall watch party, but not this. I did my homework for today's class. LOL. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys will enjoy our conversation that we recorded. And yes, hey Mama Bear. And Nanette's Blood Rose Horror Nightmare is here. How are you doing, Nanette? I hope you're doing fine. Let's see. And let's see. And so she says, hello, Retro Nerd Girl, and says hi to Mama Bear and Art Doll. So good to see you guys. Well, okay, so the greetings are out of the way already. You guys are so awesome to be here. Oh no, is it, do I have the wrong things up? Okay, let's check. Sorry, you're so right. You're so right. It's 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. These are 5. These are these are 5 episodes. Thank you, Mama Bear Art Doll, for helping me to figure that out. I hope let's see. I hope Grumpy had the right episodes for the homework. I hope that didn't trip everybody up, but I will change the title after we're done with this to make sure everybody has the right episodes. Very sorry about that. Thanks for clearing that up for me. I totally messed that up. And Annette says, I love the show, and it's one I watched as a child and still love it. Oh, yes. It's so good. I'm just, going through it for the first time with Mama Bear. Mama Bear's, she's, seen it very well, and as she was the one who asked me to do this, and so we're going through it again, and it's just wonderful. Hasn't been a week that we've done this that I was like, oh, I don't know, these aren't so good, and that's not happened so far. It's all been really, really entertaining, and Grumpy says, I knew you did those last weeks, but I figured it was just a streaming thing. No worries. Okay, good. Oh, sorry about that. Yes, so it is. The episodes that we are going over just as just as a refresher is episode 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And Nanette says, I have a cold, but I feel good otherwise. Oh, I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better. Yeah, this I don't know what it is, but today was just a weird day. And yeah, I don't know. I've been out of sorts. I'm considering taking 2 weeks off just to heal up or just to have a restart or something, just to reboot myself. I'm thinking about it. And Mama Bear reminds me, I stated it last night. Okay, thank you. And Grumpy says MacBeth is the boss. Okay, yes, he is. He is. He very much is. And yes. Oh, and Sin Havoc is here. Hello, how are you? so good to see you. Love those red and purple hearts. Oh gosh, no. And says Gargoyles time. Oh yes. Let's see. And Nanette says, I'm feeling better today than I did yesterday. I'm sure it will be gone by Friday. I know. Yeah, hopefully it'll be gone. Drink lots of liquids and rest and just hang out with us. We'll try to keep your spirits up. And Grumpy says, I understand you got to take breaks. Yeah, as they're available. Yeah, sometimes you just need a break, you know. And Mama Bear says, March break is coming up for me, and we are well recorded ahead. Take time off. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Well, I'll definitely let everybody know ahead of time what I'll do. I may have some stuff, prepared ahead of time, and but yeah. Well, thank you. Let's see. Um, so okay, so you guys are chatting with each other in the chat. This is awesome. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna begin the recording in a few moments. Um, we we had such a good time with this one, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. So without further ado, here it is. All right, guys, I'm here with Mamabear Artdoll, and we are going to be talking about Gargoyles again, and this is great. We're looking at episodes 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, which completes the entire series for the first series of this show, which is quite exciting. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually not too bad because they're only about how much, like 22 minutes or 20 something minutes,
Roughly.
and they're really exciting.
Standard cartoon length, yeah.
Yeah,
and they really fly by. It's not like you're really sitting there and going, when is this going to be over?
Yeah, it's like a lot happens in that amount of time, and I think this is probably a more appropriate, I guess, picture instead of the one before because that other picture was a sort of a preview to something that were spoilers for next season. I didn't realize, but
yeah. Next season's a big season, so yeah, it's next season.
Yeah, and I definitely do love this cover art for the
It's fantastic.
I think isn't it great? Look at all those muscles. They have like muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. Very, very incredible. All right, so I will
I just got to say, as an artist, I do love that drawing though, because that is like the height of that old cartoon, like comic art that was at the time. I still have all of my old Marvel cards.
Yeah.
And it's that same highly detailed muscular structure. It's fantastic.
Just looking at it, it's like fulfilling like this super fantasy of what these creatures may be like. It looks fierce, it looks intense, and it's just beautiful. Almost looks like almost looks computerized,
Actually, I think this was back when they were still largely doing, like they were doing initially, hand drawing and airbrushing. So you do see a lot of the airbrushing in that drawing right there. Most of the cartoons were initially hand drawn, and if they were computer generated, they were to adjust to the movements.
Yeah. And I know that
technology wasn't there at that point.
Yeah, and I know this production doesn't look like it had any at all, because sometimes they would use it for just building out spaces, backgrounds, and things like that. But this looks like it's pretty much all hand done. Even I saw just pictures of stuff that was from other seasons, and it looks like they were doing hand drawings. And I think by the end they were using a different animation studio, so you could see.
I think at that point, that's when computers started picking up a bit more for animation technology. It's that falling in that same run from Batman the Animated Series to where the Justice League cartoon came into play. So you see the shift as this show progresses.
Okay, I'm gonna look closely for that because
for those who actually do pick up this stuff.
yeah, because I do love that. Because right now the animation is pretty simple, but also it's more about the characters that I'm seeing them really work with and defining who those characters are and showing us how they would behave in their space.
Yeah, this is what I miss about the older cartoons is too much nowadays you see with modern cartoons, the detail on the characters in the background, it's not there anymore.
Yeah. And some of them just straight up, the stories aren't as good. So that's the other piece of it is having that story to pull you what's happening, so it can kind of transform your perception of where you are, and even like drag you into the story, which is always fun. And I feel like with these, I always feel like I'm right there with the gargoyles dealing with whatever it is. I'm like, oh no, I'm like talking back to the screen, and I feel
right?
personally involved.
That's why I say, like, as this show goes on, the viewer is treated like another part of the clan because you get to see this all through their view.
Yes, yes. I do love that so far. Episode 9, Enter MacBeth. Well, this is one, we call him a silver fox because he is incredible.
He is character. He is one that is going to be returning. You don't get a character like this and make it a one-off.
Yeah. I do love the fact that they are picking people that are not just young people, right? I mean, even though it's a cartoon, we don't know exactly how old this character is, Owen here. But we get a sense of he may be in his like 30s, maybe pushing 40. But for sure, with like a character like MacBeth, or a character like Hudson, these characters are older characters. They're like gotta be like 50, 60, and they are agile and formidable characters. I was going to add Wolf to that as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because they seem to be older gentlemen, but they are like ready for action if necessary, and even provokes it, right? So I do love that. I was like, wow, this is really progressive, like actually showing it like even it doesn't matter how old these guys are, they still have that same kind of like energy and excitement to their characters. For this episode, this is the one time that they did a previously on, and I think that's the last previously on for all the rest of the episodes. So this one in particular wanted to kind of refresh.
For season 1, yes.
Yeah, they wanted to reinforce a few things. One, wanted to let you know about Damona, and then it wanted to let us know about Xanatos' short jail sentence and that he was coming back. And it wanted to let us know that Elisa got shot. And so that sets everything up for when we do see Elisa. She is now on crutches. The story starts with Hudson and Broadway watching TV. Lexington and Brooklyn are playing cards. And Goliath is reading a book. And I was like, oh, I guess he loves books. He's a book reader, book lover. So I thought that was very interesting. And then Xanatos is in jail. Am I forgetting something there?
No, not really. We see, because they span over to the calendar in Xanatos' cell, and there's like a week left, if that.
Yes.
And of course, they show him. I think Elisa has the same argument that we've seen multiple episodes of, you guys aren't safe here, you got to get out, this isn't your home anymore.
Yes. She's trying to tell him that he has to leave, but Goliath is just so
He doesn't want to hear
stubborn.
it.
Yeah, he's like, Why? We beat him. This is our home." He doesn't realize, it's time to go, but the other guys are. I think Hudson is really the one that the most like, "Hey, yeah, we really do need to get to bounce." And the
Like
next,
the kids get it. Hudson, with his experience, it does see
yeah,
that, yeah, this isn't safe anymore.
this isn't safe. Yeah. And at about the same time, Macbeth shows up at the
As a prison
jail.
guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has like a little chat with Xanatos about capturing the
Yeah,
gargoyle.
I love how I love how they refer to it multiple times as his pest infection, his infestation.
Yeah. Yes, yes. As if they're to be gotten rid of. And
Yeah, that you got that Scottish accent, that really nice brogue. Yeah, he makes it clear he is familiar with this species.
yes, yes. And when he does get a chance to mix it up with them, he wipes the floor with them. Kind of, I was like, "What?"
Yeah. You
He,
see, he's not talk. He wasn't just talk. This guy has dealt with gargoyles before.
yeah, yeah. And what we learn in this one is that electricity really affects them
Mhm.
much more than anything that we've seen so far. So he's got like electrified nets, and he's got like beams that's got electricity that he can, subdue them in some way. But he manages to capture a few of them. He captures Bronx, captures
Lexington
Lexington
and
and Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Yeah,
Goliath goes out to find them and rescue them, but leaves the rest of them, which is basically Hudson,
Hudson and Broadway, and he's like, "Yeah, protect our home,"
protect
which
their
gives
home. Yeah,
Elisa her way in.
yeah, yeah. She slides in there and talks some sense into Hudson. But what I thought was really smart was that Hudson takes the book. He takes the book. Oh, why do I have
Not
those
that
guys?
book.
Yeah. He takes
Take
the
takes
what
the
is it?
Grimorum.
The acronym. I
Grimorum
can't.
Arcanorum.
Yes, and that was one of the smartest things. I was like, oh wow, that is the one thing that could probably help them the most. But of course, it is definitely Xanatos's property at this point. So it is kind of
Technically, yeah.
stealing. They know that they need it. So I thought it was a
They
very
they it's not so much that they need it, they just need it out of his hands.
yeah.
Because
Oh,
again, really dangerous book.
yes, yes. And so that was I thought that was a smart. I was like, oh, somebody's
Mhm.
really trying making these characters smart and not like leaving them to chance and leaving them. It's one gripe I have about a lot of these written shows is that sometimes it doesn't seem like people are actually doing their very best to get out of the troubles that they are dealing with, and
Yeah.
so I did appreciate that because I was like, oh, okay, they're really thinking about what's coming up. At the castle at Macbeth's amazing castle, this castle is incredible. He has his captives, Lexington, and I believe he's the one to figure out there's something that happens with
Yeah.
the power.
Because
But I think
uh,
Brooklyn is the one
yeah,
who's
Brooklyn, he's tapping against the bars of the cage going, "Ow, ow, ow." And yeah, Lex notices the lights dim every time
he does that, and
Brooklyn
so
electrocutes himself with the cage.
yeah, and that gives them an idea to overcharge the bars and tell Bronx, "Hey, go find somebody," which is
Mhm.
really, I mean, when I think of Bronx like going through Manhattan, it reminds me a lot of Ghostbusters, those guard dogs.
I don't know, it kinda gave me Lassie feels.
Oh yeah, go get him. Go get Timmy, Lassie.
It's just the one thing I take issue with this is people actually reacting to Bronx running through the street. New York and Toronto ain't that different. Let's face it, something that looks roughly dog adjacent, most people would be like, okay.
We've seen it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. I mean, I picture that what we probably can't see, or like, and why I compared it to like the dogs of Ghostbusters is because
Mhm.
there is a scary element to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a scary element to him, but on the most part, he acts like a puppy, and it's really adorable.
Well, he's built like a bulldog. I mean,
Yeah.
that
Like,
is definitely why, I do refer him as the pup.
yeah, yeah, and he's so huge but adorable. Yeah, at this point, he finds Goliath, or Goliath finds him because he's causing such a ruckus, and it's like they're in the open. People can see them. I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, they're in the open." So I was afraid for them at that point. We continue on to Macbeth's place. Goliath faces off with Macbeth, which is really an epic action scene right there, where they're just going at it. Um, it's a wonderful, a wonderful battle there. Macbeth is after Demona.
Yeah, that's the part we find out, because he's like, we have done nothing to you. Why are you coming after us? And Beth is like, you're bait. I'm after your queen. Like, you know about Demona? I named her.
Oh man. So yeah, there's some story there. I can't even wait to find
We'll
out.
get there.
Yeah, and that's gonna be so much fun because I instantly love this character, Macbeth. He's very interesting, and to find out that he wasn't even after them for any reason other than to reach somebody else was kind of like, this is a person who's trying to use some sort of strategy. Um, and he may need to get some catching up as to why it's not working, but at least he has a plan. Oh, and Goliath tells him that Demona is his enemy, and you can literally see his jaw drop.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, so that's shocking to you. So I guess he supposed there must have been yet another change during Demona's existence where he thought for sure that she was gonna be, want to protect these guys,
Mhm.
and that kind of shocks him. So I'm really looking forward to finding out why that particular detail shocked him so much. And you probably know, probably not.
I do. It's a great episode.
Oh my God, I can't wait. And Bronx is completely amazing. He like basically puts all his weight into the bars of this electrified gate and electrified prison cell, and he just frees Lexington and Brooklyn very easily, very easily. I was like, ooh, what sheer power. Well,
Yeah,
I
he's a
really
beast.
love it. Yeah, he's wonderful. I was very surprised, and I loved it. Unfortunately, Macbeth's castle is completely ruined and is in a fiery mess by the time he escaped. The thing that's really interesting is that the fact that Goliath is really, really super attached to the castle.
Mhm.
And they're like, they finally convince him, and he's like, "Okay, just give me a minute." I was like, "Oh God, break my heart." He was like, he is so attached to that place and what it means for him, and what it means for his sentiment for this for the castle. But he eventually realizes he cannot stay there, and,
Mhm.
and so that opens up an opportunity that Eliza has found a place for them. She takes them to the police station, which at first I didn't know where they were, but there's a clock
It's the clock
the,
tower on top of the police station.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so beautiful there. And so they're hiding out in that area, and that at night they're perching, and and it's so funny. The cops are right below them.
And nobody's picked up that they suddenly gathered like a whole bunch of new gargoyle statues.
Yeah, nobody noticed.
That's my entertainment throughout the whole series. Like, being honest. And
Yeah,
it
right.
does speak for city livers, city dwellers.
So true. I mean, you don't really look up unless you have to.
Yeah, they show up randomly all throughout New York. Never phases anybody. I don't remember. The most you get is like what we saw with that one jogger. I never noticed that statue.
Yeah.
Full of surprises.
Yeah, I thought that was ingenious that, she found them a home and it's right where she
Mhm.
works, which is really cool. But this is something that that was also in this, was that Xanatos returns home. And I think he's very, very much pleased with MacBeth being what he calls a new player in the game.
Mhm.
I thought that was a very revealing about Xanatos. He thinks of this whole thing as a game that he's playing with the gargoyles, and you just don't know what he has in mind at just quite yet. He doesn't want to let go of them necessarily, but he wants to kind of test them out and play with them. It's very it's very interesting, his role at this point. So he's still controlling things, behind the scenes, and yeah, being a boss. So the next one we have
The Edge.
episode 10, yeah, The Edge.
Mhm.
And this one is really this one was really good. It has a full arc for Xanatos, which I just love. So Owen and Xanatos are spying. Owen gets the upper hand and beats him. And I thought their conversation was very good. Like, he's, said, "Would you rather for me to,
Lose on purpose?" And he's like,
yeah,
"I'd fire you if you did that."
yeah." We're getting a lot more detail on Xanatos, how he works, what makes him tick. And he seems to be a man of very high standards, but also he likes to play games a lot. He likes to test people. He likes to, because that was a test for Owen. That was a test for Owen to see if he was giving 100%. What happens here is that Elisa gets a partner.
Mhm. Yeah, we see her
And
carrying a TV into the police station.
I
She's like,
wonder
"I'm
what
just stashing it for during my shift."
and he hasn't figured out anything yet. Nobody has, but he's I guess I would call him Matt,
Mhm.
Matt Drake,
Matt
and
Bluestone. Yeah.
Bluestone.
Yes, Matt
Yes,
Bluestone.
Bluestone, and he's very inquisitive, very insistent, and you get the sense that he may get in the way of some things. So I have my eye on this guy. I don't trust him.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we have another book thing, because where is Goliath? He's at the library. He is definitely a book lover, and at one point I'm not sure if it was this episode, but he even refers to Shakespeare, and it's just
Yeah,
really lovely.
that was the last episode. It was the boys that mentioned it, and
Yeah.
I love how they dropped that. They're like, "What's this guy's name? Macbeth." It's yeah, it's one of those books from that new author Shakespeare.
Yeah, yeah, it would be new for them.
It does speak for how old they are, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that they missed so much of what was going on in the world.
Mhm.
And and they're just they're starting to get to know what's going on, which is great. Let's see. The only thing that I was really kind of concerned with was that Goliath really seems to be just a little obsessed with getting revenge on Xanatos. He's like he wants to get revenge, but it's not to the point where it's causing any trouble just yet, but it's there, it's just in his language. At the same time, Xanatos donates the Eye of Odin to the museum. Immediately when I saw that, he just got out of jail, and I was like, okay, this is a trap, right, of some sort, or a joke, or he's, I know something slippery is going to happen. Lo and behold, it gets stolen like almost immediately. But before we get to that part, Goliath is talking to the group, and they're trying to talk some sense into him, and he just runs off. But then when the robbery happens, Matt and Elisa are called to the crime scene, and they see somebody with wings flying, and she thinks it might be him. But when they shoot at him, or well, Matt shoots at him, the bullets just bounces. Yeah, and so she's like, "Oh, that's not normal." And so it's definitely another one of those robotic Goliaths that we saw before, which is part of what is called the Steel Clan. There's 3 of them flying around. I did love this sequence. Elisa's trying so very hard. There's like so many different arguments that they're having. Elisa's having a hard time getting through to Goliath, like, hey, look, you've got to stay undercover. You've got to, figure out a different way of doing things, because, in the present day, you can't just do what
you guys aren't really high on the popularity rating right now.
yeah. He's just too stubborn at this point, and he will not listen. And this whole thing with Xanatos, he doesn't seem to see that any of this stuff is related, or that it could be a trap. So he says that he's going to meet up with Xanatos, and Xanatos is really calmly saying, "Hey, why don't you guys come with me to come to the retreat that I have upstate New York?" And and we learn later on that this retreat is called Xanadu. I love Xanadu so much. He is so crazy. He's insane. And so I was just like, what is he gonna do with these guys upstate? Is he, is basically, I think he was just gonna lock them up, right? What do you think he was gonna do with them?
Probably experiment, being honest.
Oh,
we've already seen he's a tinkerer by nature. And if I talk too much more about that, I'll drop a spoiler. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We no spoiler. All right. So as soon as they end the conversation, the Steel Clan shows up and attack, and they have a couple of upgrades. It seems they're a little bit more savvier than the last time that they met up with the Gargoyles. At first, they're fighting in the city. And then they're like, okay, let's take this to a remote location. Really big action scene here. It's really incredible. The cops are involved. They see this all going on. This is all done in public. And so taking it away to someplace a little bit remote was really a great idea. They end up at the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. I was like, that's a great idea. These guys, I just love the writing. Yeah, I just love the writing here. And then we have 3 of them. The main one that's really causing the most damage, or is the most formidable one, is the red. I call him the red leader. And so he's doing his damage, and the other 2, they're not bad either. But
they have been upgraded. That's very apparent.
Yeah, they've gotten a little extra, and somehow, it's a long process, but the boys managed to get a leg up on the two um, lesser Steel Clan members that.
Yeah, I love that Broadway actually gave Lexington a hand with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one,
it was one. I thought it was great.
literally.
Literally, yeah. Take this hand, and yeah, there was so many. And I thought it was all clever. Like somebody was really thinking about all of this choreography to actually make that look good. They have it to the place where they've cornered the guy, the red leader. Because he's really giving Goliath a run for his money, but with all of them together, they can really do some damage. And he looks around and sees that the other two are gone, which I thought was that was my first red flag, if you will, like ding 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 ding. That's not really typical behavior, I would think, for a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of interesting. I had a little a little suspicion, but I was like, so this particular one, I was like, maybe he has like a special upgrade or some sort of specific AI capabilities that he's making these kind of judgments that like a typical robot would not be doing, right? They're getting commands and then leaving. Then we have Elisa join up with them, and she and the Gargoyles actually know that Xanatos has something to do with all of this, and it's then that they all kind of vow to work together on trying to do it all, which I thought was a nice moment. And the public thinks that the Gargoyles were all robots at this point, so that kind of buys them all some time to hide. I don't know why people would buy that, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't. And they showed, particularly Matt is like, no, that was not; those were not
that was not
robots.
steel. What I saw wasn't a robot.
Yeah, he's becoming a little obsessed with finding them, which is very interesting because they're right on the roof of
Yeah,
the building he works on.
we can see that seed has been planted.
Yeah. So that's really cool, kind of interesting too, because yeah, they're right right above his eyebrows, if you will.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that really was the like, this is a wonderfully crafted cake that is delicious with wonderful frosting, but there is a beautiful cherry on top. And that is the last scene of this, which is with the red leader at the castle, and Owen is also there, and he pulls off his helmet, and it's Xanatos. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why he wasn't acting like he was acting like a thinking creature and not a robot. Owen says, "Oh, you failed at the Gargoyles," and Xanatos says, "No, actually, very successful. The city owes Xanatos for his donation. He tested out his prototype battle suit exoframe, and he's also proud that he went toe to toe with Goliath.
And he still has the Eye of Odin.
Yes, he still has the eye.
I point that out for a reason. We will get there.
Oh boy, yes, I love it. And he says something that's very interesting. He says, "I thought I was getting soft." And I was like, oh yeah, because Owen, his butt earlier in the episode, that can get in your mind and make you like feel like, okay, well, maybe I don't have what it takes. But the fact that he was able to face off with Goliath with the help of the suit, of course, gave him a little bit more confidence going forward. So I did love that.
The suit is technically cheating.
It's big time. That's the only way that Xanatos fights. So, yeah, that was just great. I think I was supposed to go through all the pictures, but there they are, the awesome team there. I do love the Steel Clan. They're very Very
They are
impressive.
handy handy tool for the storytellers to use.
I agree. So the next one is season 1, episode 11, Long Way to Morning, another banger of an episode. It starts off at 984 AD, and Princess Catherine it's in her bedroom. Hudson shows up and speaks to the king.
Oh yeah,
They
because the
go,
king's tucking her in, and it's like, if you don't go to bed, you'll you'll be prey to the gargoyles. And Hudson's like, don't tell her that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, the king is yeah, he's a piece of work, but I don't think he thinks anything of it. He doesn't think he's not trying to be mean.
It's yeah, it's very clear that him and Hudson they see each other kind of as equals.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that this king actually does like having the gargoyles around. He respects them.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a definite partnership, and they go to the side somewhere to talk, and this archmage shows up who gives the king a poisonous dart. When Catherine comes out, she thinks Hudson did this to her father, and she's just like, she's a very, very, very nasty things to Hudson.
Yeah.
Is just like,
You did this, you beast.
and Hudson doesn't say anything. The father doesn't say anything. This is the reason why she really hates gargoyles at the beginning of the story in back in episode 1. And so
she blames them for her what happened to her father.
yeah,
Hudson blames himself for what happened to him. I mean,
and
he did the full out like epic bodyguard. No, just missed the dart.
Yeah, and it's still in 1884. This leads to him getting Demona and his right-hand man at the time, who is Goliath, to go and find the Archmage to get the book, right? To get his book in order to undo this magical potion, that this magical poison. And so that is happening. But this is all through the memories that Hudson's is kind of going through in his mind. These also kind of mirror what is also happening in real life, because Elisa is at home. She has her badge and she puts it in the inside of her jacket. And Demona shows up out of nowhere and just zaps her with a poisonous dart. It was now enough to knock her down, but when she later on, she's able to see that the badge stopped the poison from actually getting to her. But
which of course Demona doesn't know.
Yeah, Demona doesn't know, but she issues out this ultimatum that Goliath come and see her at the old opera house in the village in order to get the antidote. And luckily, the poison didn't get to her, because I don't think she was going to give that anybody an antidote for anything.
Yeah, she's like, if you want the antidote, come and tell Goliath to meet me here. Love how she talks,
Yes. It's like,
it's like she's saying to him, why are you going if you know it's a trap?
Yeah.
Because Hudson's like, because then if he doesn't, she'll know she failed and she'll attack you again.
That's true. Yes. Which I love that explanation, and that it made sense. It made sense for Goliath to go after Demona, and he asked Hudson to come along. I believe Hudson had a look of shock in his face. I don't think
why didn't you bring the whole clan?
Yeah.
Need somebody to watch Lisa, and I'm not letting Brooklyn anywhere near her right now.
So yeah, it was. I think he was going also to see if he could talk to Demona, talk some sense into her, and it's still like a shred of
He
like,
still loves her.
yeah, he cares and he wants to at least try with her.
Mhm.
And I think another thing too is that he still has a feeling of like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a gargoyle, he wants to protect you. He's the leader, right? You're
Yeah.
part of his clan, whether you want to be or not. Demona has this gun that she's been carrying around that's really quite effective. It's like a laser gun. And
Mhm.
so there's this huge action set piece, which is really great. In this particular episode, there's two of them.
It's
So
full of them.
yeah, I was just like, wow, this is really good stuff. So basically, she is hunting them down. Unfortunately, she really gets one good shot into Goliath, right in
Mhm.
his chest. And he is, I wouldn't say out completely, but he is, having a hard time. And Hudson is just doing everything he can protect him and carry him along. I mean, it's very, very intense. And it seems to be very reflective of, again, his experience previously in 1884. And so they bounce back and forth in time. I did like that. One other thing that I noticed was that Hudson carries around that knife, but he uses that knife in specific ways that are just like,
Mhm.
oh, I didn't know. Like I could see why he would carry it. He uses it to,
It's
reflect.
not like it's not like he needs it, like, 'cause he's got the claws.
Yeah. So yeah, that I thought that was really unique that he was able to use it as a tool,
Mhm.
like reflecting light, seeing, who was behind him, different things like that. So I'm sorry, I'm not using my pictures like I should.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh,
we see him quite often and, like, make him going, using it like we've seen in, like, various movies right there.
yeah, yeah,
In Kill Bill or whatever, where they use it as a mirror. I mean, I think that even goes back to, I don't wanna say Jason and the Argonauts, but I know that's the wrong one.
oh, you mean Clash of the Titans?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Where he's facing off against Medusa and using it like a mirror.
yeah. He was very, it was very, very useful, so handy. And
Mhm.
I had no idea. I was like, oh, what is he going to use that knife for? What is he? But there he is. He's using it, and it's really great. The thing that's really also the most frightening is that it's almost dawn again. So there's this effort to like, oh, let's try to get somewhere. We got to go somewhere, and before dawn, when they all turn to stone again. It is used in the story as a subversion, right? Because what we find out later on is he's trying to stall for time because he
Mhm.
knows that once Goliath gets enough rest from his sleep, he'll be back to normal. He'll be at full strength again.
Yeah,
So
they've mentioned it before, and it does reoccur once or a couple times, that if they're injured when they go to sleep, but they're still alive,
yeah.
the nighttime stone sleeping thing, or the daytime stone sleeping, completely resets them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's wonderful. I need
handy,
that. Yeah.
right?
I need that. So yeah, that was really great because there was this impending doom that Dawn was coming, but it was like, oh wait a minute, he's using it to his advantage. It's great. To go back to 984,
'Cause, yeah, they jump back and forth throughout the whole episode.
yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Eh,
Um,
but the nice factor about them jumping back and forth is he's using it to keep Goliath
yes,
awake,
yes, yes,
so he doesn't fall asleep before the sun rises. Because
yes.
Goliath is wounded bad.
He is. He's not doing very well. He has to be carried everywhere, and until like the last minute, he really gets a chance to stand up again. But Hudson is like going through the entire thing where he and Demona and and Goliath are hunting for the Archmage, And the whole time, Demona is complaining that Hudson is too old, like 1,000 years ago. So she has not changed.
Too old. You're younger. You're stronger. You should be leading. I like at one point Goliath is like, this is not the time.
Yeah. I mean, she's just relentless, and maybe it was because she was seeking the power of being the leader, that this was her way of getting there, or aligning herself with that. And it was really evident that all this time, that's exactly what her motivations were, like to be the leader. And it's kind of gross, but also establishes. Yeah, yeah. But it establishes.
It's real.
Yeah. I mean, it really establishes her motivations for what her actions are today, which is like, I've had enough. I should be the one who's leading all of these.
It's that hindsight's 2020, because looking at it as if in that time of frame, it seems like she's genuinely worried about the clan.
It did. Like, there is some sincerity in her, and I suppose over the years that we don't know about, she completely lost her ability to, kind of come out of it in one piece, or with some sort of moral standing right now. And yeah, he was definitely too old at the time. He has wisdom, and that's something that Goliath keeps saying. He has an incredible amount of wisdom. And look, he, in this episode, he's showing that he has wits. So even though he is not physically strong up to his personal best, and at one point he even says, I can face Demona, but I can't beat her. I was like, ooh, this is getting really good. So in a way, he was kind of sacrificing himself, or taking a big gamble that whatever he was doing was going to work, which was brilliant. And it was just about stalling for time. And that, you can't say, you can say that he's old, but he still has what it takes to win. That's what he did win. So that was really quite interesting, because he was able to stave off her attacks. My goodness, she was really relentless. And at one point she's like, okay, that's enough. I'm tired of playing. And it was like, you mean you were playing around all this time? And he really, like, waits for that one moment where the sun comes up and they are pretty much turned to stone. And it was exactly what he wanted to have as the outcome. It was really great.
And that image right there would look like a completely normal setting for a cemetery.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the semi-dead gargoyle laying down on the roof.
So true. What happened to that one over there? Like, I don't know.
Fell over.
Yeah, I thought this was so brilliant, and like, it just crafted so well. It subverted the expectations we had about what was going to happen, but it also was a shining moment for Hudson, which is great. So at the end of this, nightfall comes, and Demona cannot fight against Goliath at full strength. So she just, and not only is Goliath there, Hudson's there, she can't do both. And so she bounces. At the same time, she throws in this little dig, like, well, too bad your girlfriend is gonna die, pretty much. And I was like, wow.
She's dead by now. Oh yeah, she's dead by now. Should we tell her? Nah.
And I thought, wow, what an insane, cruel person she is. She's not redeemable anymore. She's gone too far. yeah, that was an excellent episode. I really loved it. And yay for Hudson. He came through it in clutch. I loved it. There's a bond between them that's just incredible. They go back and they show you a little clip of 984 again, and the decision to make Goliath the leader. And Goliath,
she's at it. You really? You're younger. You're faster. You should be the leader. He's like, no. Madsen's like, she's right.
yeah. And he says, I won't do it without you. And it creates this incredible brotherhood that I was like, wow, this is awesome. The connection between Goliath and Hudson. Yes, that is why Hudson is the one he wanted to go with him when all the way back to 994 when I want to say 994 when they the big battle happens, and they lose the battle. Then he wanted him there because he is very, very clever and has a lot of wisdom to offer. So yeah, he knows strategy. Look at that strategy he came up with. So I'm a big fan of Hudson. Do your thing, Hudson.
He's brilliant.
yeah I loved it. And so the next one is season 1, episode 12, Her Brother's Keeper, another banger. It starts off with Elisa and her brother surveilling Xanatos in a helicopter. And I didn't realize that he was a cop too, but he is a police officer as well. And she's been trying to keep tabs on Xanatos, but he's been able to find out. And we've got news for her. He knows that she's he knows what she's doing, so he's got tabs on her still. It also starts off with Lexington training on a game how to pilot a helicopter.
Training. It's a video game they're playing.
Yeah. It's so cute. And I was like, oh, wow. And I started to think, I was like, are they going to have him pilot a helicopter? So it was very interesting. And it was a game that Lisa had given them. So I was like, okay, they're shaping all of this up really nicely, because you could kind of see where it's going to go, but they also put in so many surprises in here that are just like really, really amazing. The big thing is that they're following Xanatos, and Xanatos says, well, let's go shopping. And he goes to this place where they're displaying the Coyote Diamond, which is really like this incredible jewel. And the people who are Googling it right now, or Oogling it right now, is Hyena and Jackal, formerly from the Pack. They have intentions to steal this thing. They were talked into doing that because by Fox, who is in jail right now. So right now, Wolf and Fox are in jail, but Dingo is in Europe, and these guys are just walking loose and trying to find some trouble. Xanatos buys the Coyote Diamond, and then the siblings attack, create this diversion, and steal the diamond, and then they escape on the roof. And so Elisa and Derek, her brother, are called to stop them in the helicopter. One of them shoots a laser beam at the helicopter. Yeah, and it comes down, but it looks like it's going to crash. But Derek actually manages to get hold of it and lands it on the roof, which is pretty incredible. This catches the eye of Xanatos, and he offers Derek a job. And of course, Elisa warns him, but this is one of those situations where you have a little brother who doesn't want to quite listen to the older sister, because it seems like she is guiding him. I'm not sure if that makes sense, or he doesn't want to, like, he he thinks that she wants him to be a cop.
I get where he comes from because I am my younger sibling.
Okay.
So I don't know how you stand with siblings, but I am the youngest of my two sisters, of the three of us. And it is, when you're the youngest, it is always that battle to be identified and like, yeah, I am an adult. You do have, you can't mother me my whole life. You gotta let me do my own thing.
Yes. So there is that struggle. And I thought it was very interesting, because they're really going into like stuff that happens in families. Like you try to protect your family members, and we have this really awesome conversation with Derek and his mom, trying to talk through this whole thing. He's like, should I take it? Or he wants to do something different than just being a cop. He wants to explore what else is out there for him. And, his mom is like, look, this is an opportunity for you. Take it. And Elisa has very good reason for giving her warnings. She does, but in this case, like, he has to find out for himself first, right? Before you can. She wasn't able to tell him everything about what she knows, so he doesn't know all the things that she knows, and how will he handle knowing it all?
She does come off as a little paranoid about him, a little stalkerish.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I think that part, even though she may have a point, it's pushing him away from her, and it's creating the opposite of what she wants. Even Goliath is like, well, just bring him here and show show him. He gets in on it too.
Just tell the truth. No need to break into the guy's locker room to have it out with them.
Oh God, that was horrible. Yeah, she walks right into the men's locker room.
Cover your eyes, boys. Why do they need to cover their eyes?
I know. Yeah, that was a wild one right there. But I do like this character a lot, so I don't want to say anything bad about her. But this was a one time.
Lisa is a great character. She is absolutely lovable. This was one of those moments where you're going, that's not it, honey.
Yeah.
You're clearly not thinking clearly.
Yeah, she wasn't. And it might have been just like the whole thing with Xanatos. We know he's a bad guy. We know he's planning stuff. We know all that stuff. If we had someone we cared about and loved, we'd probably say, hey, yeah, you got to stay away from this guy. But at some point, you've got to step back and say, look, you have to figure that out for yourself. But I told you, and you don't want it to go the worst thing. But I think that's what's guiding her. But it's also stopping her from like actually making smart decisions.
Which she make up for very fast, because she does realize I can't keep talking to him, and that this is exactly what I'm leading towards. Yeah, I can't keep telling him without bringing proof.
Exactly.
So of course she goes and talks to Fox.
Yeah. There's something weird that happens that
she goes talks to Fox because she knows Jacqueline and Hyena are involved.
Yeah.
She's not aware that there's a connection between Fox and Xanatos.
Yeah. Not yet. But Fox just pretty much spills all the beans. But she only spills, well, I wouldn't say all the beans, because we don't know what we don't know yet. But except for you probably but we know that she says that Xanatos told her to say those things. And she's like, oh, why did you tell me? Because Xanatos told me to say it.
Yeah, she wants you to know.
Yes. And so the thing is that the siblings, Jackal and Hyena, are working on their own, but they're being told by Fox what to do. And so Fox at one point says, hey, it's okay for you to get rid of Xanatos because, he
interfered.
Yeah, he interfered. So that creates a problem because now they are going to go after Xanatos and get, who's working with Xanatos? Derek. And so the gargoyles interfere.
We find out because, again, we know the pack is working for Xanatos. Most of them don't know this. Only Fox knows this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love that she pointed out, he put a hit out on himself.
That's psychotic. That's what I love. That's what I like about Xanatos. He's insane. And like if it like leaves him completely maimed, he'll probably be like, yeah, well, that was part of my experiment.
Learning curve. All right.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And so the boys save Xanatos and Derek. They fix up the helicopter, and so that becomes part of the story as well. So they take Hyena and Jackal's helicopter and fixes it. And what we find out is that everything that Fox has said, which is really amazing. That's not the end of Hyena and Jackal because they actually to Xanadu.
Yeah, I know. There's going to be a chuckle every time we come across this stuff.
I'm also chuckling because I do love the movie Xanadu.
Yeah.
And so this
this series is full of like great callbacks. Like even I think it's in this episode, one of them refers to Lexington as Starfleet because there's that constant Star Trek watch.
Oh yeah, I heard that and I was like,
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's Starfleet.
Also, I wanted to mention this when Fox is talking about Xanatos. There's a moment there. She is. Oh my
girl, you got it bad.
She's like he's.
I mean, I crush harder on boys, but seriously, she puts me to shame.
Oh, she was really doing it hard, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know. There was something that I was seeing there, so I was like, huh. But she's got for her crime, though. It doesn't. They never say how long she has in jail. Maybe she has a couple of years in jail. But yeah, so the gargoyles intercept that attack as well. It is another very big action. Derek and Elisa, they actually start to verbally fight with each other, as it just seems just so perfect. And there is Xanatos standing on the sidelines watching it all happen. It's like, oh God, he wants you guys to fight like this. What would be better to have siblings fighting at each other? Goliath says something that I thought was really sweet, actually poignant. And he says, nothing is more important than family. And just at that moment, it starts to snow, which because it carries on to the next episode. I think realizing there's nothing else that she can say, she gives Derek the tape and leaves it to him to figure out what he wants to do. He can make the decision on his own because what he's been told about the gargoyles and the situation from Xanatos has been a half truth. He hasn't been really telling him upfront, honest to goodness truths about everything. He's been telling him half truths. So she was hoping that this tape will reveal the truth to Derek. And I thought another thing that was really, really cool was that I think Brooklyn and Broadway, they actually congratulate Lexington for doing a great job on the helicopter, which I thought was sweet.
Well, after Goliath's little speech, it's
they're so cute. Yes, that's her giving him the tape. I hope he listens to it, and it almost looked like he was going to throw it away, but I hope he listens to it and makes the right decision. Season 1, episode 13, Reawakening. Another amazing episode. Oh my goodness. I have this slightly out of order.
Star Trek. No, you're good. because it starts off right about here anyway.
Oh yeah, in the past,
Yeah, in the past, right before Goliath and Hudson go off after the Vikings.
Yes, it's in 994.
And we get to meet another one of their rookery mate.
Yes.
Rookery brothers, rookery mates.
Rookery brothers, yeah. And he does, at this point, he doesn't have a name because they, as we talked about before, they don't have names. But this was before Hakon's raid. They were making plans to figure out what to do.
This was after the initial Viking raid, before right before they were going, like the two of them were going to go track down the Vikings and scare them off.
Yes.
For those who are keeping track, the new Gargoyle is voiced by Michael Dorn.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, Star Trek Watch, we've got Lieutenant Worf.
Yes, and his voice is, it's
very identifiable.
Very, very right away. And it matches this incredible creature. Look at how big he is. He's even taller than Goliath. So he seems to be like a formidable character there. And so there's a statement that they say here, that a gargoyle can no more stop protecting the castle than breathing the air. And then they change it a little bit later to protecting, just period, without the castle. So they just said a gargoyle could no more stop protecting than breathing the air. And I thought that was very interesting that they changed it just a little, but it's a statement that they said even back then.
Yeah.
One thing that we learn about the gargoyles is that cold temperatures don't seem to be a problem for them. So it was snowing, it was getting colder, and they didn't seem to have a problem with it. One interesting thing that they set up at the very beginning is that there's been a robbery of a local store 3 times a month, and the person who is running the store asked at some point, why does this person continue to keep the store open? Well, it's a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of stores, and so they stay open just to help the community. So that was something that they learned. The gargoyles kind of learn about this new society. Demona and Xanatos are playing Frankenstein, basically.
Literally.
And
I was like, right out of the movie.
Yeah, to the point that Xanatos says, "It's alive!
It's alive!" Like, I've always wanted to say that.
I was like, okay, this is cool. Basically what they've done is they've gotten this poor guy. They
found his parts, but most of them.
Yeah, so they patched them together somehow and have created sort of a hybrid. He still has some of his memories, or maybe all of. I'm not sure if it's all of his memories. I think he's got all of his memories, but he just is part machine, part gargoyle. Initially, Demona. Demona says to him that Xanatos is her servant. I was like,
"This is my servant."
And did you catch his face when she said that? Xanatos' face?
Excuse me, what?
So yeah, I thought that was really hilarious. So, and they made a comment about this being a combination of science and sorcery. So I think to animate him again, and the name of this guy they name him Coldstone, which is really cool. Kind of reminds me of a wrestler. And if you would, you could kind of call him like a new player in the game, right? This is all Xanatos' game. He's a brand new player in it all. So that was kind of exciting. I was like, what's going on? So Coldstone decides to attack Times Square and he still doesn't even know what his robotic parts can do. So at one point he's like, his arm like separates and he shoots a laser and he's like, what's this?
What's the scissor?
And just really kind of interesting that they would make the character do that. And Demona shows up with the Steel Clan. They have this incredible battle with Goliath, and the boys are actually.
Yeah, and sorry, just because you mentioned half truths with the last one.
Oh, sure.
She's doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
She told him, "Oh, Goliath betrayed us, and somebody betrayed the Gargoyle clan."
Yeah. Yeah, she's another one with half truth. I don't know. She can use so many different other ways of convincing him, but and I don't know why I felt a little weird about this whole thing, that it happened maybe a smidge too fast for me. But in light of that, I still accept it. I'll still accept it. And Goliath also says again, that Gargoyles protect, which I thought was interesting, that they kept repeating that they protect. And they get to a bridge, and Stone Cold and Goliath, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Cold Stone.
Why do I want to call him Stone?
Think like Cold Stone Creamery. It's been stuck in my head since I found out about it.
Cold Stone. Okay. Cold Stone
we find
Creamery.
out what happens to him later on. See, he opens up an ice cream shop.
Well, he falls into the river with Goliath. He actually saves Goliath, which is, and we're all everybody's kind of looking like, oh, why did he do that? And there's something in him that knows of that code to protect. I think he's still trying to process his feelings. And
he's still confused.
Yeah, he's super confused. And Demona is like, well, I don't care. She's just trying to shoot at Goliath. Cold Stone gets in the way of that, and he falls into the river again. But this time Goliath cannot find him, and he's just gone. So my theory is that he'll show back up again, because they didn't show the body. So when they don't show the body, they usually come back. But it was really kind of sad to see that we didn't get that initial chance for this particular character, Cold Stone, to actually spend some time with the group, bond with them. These guys knew each other for such a long time ago. What happened in 994 just happened to him like yesterday. So it's not like he had time to ruminate with anger like Demona. This is a little bit different. So I really wanted him to connect with everybody. But I guess they have plans. They have plans for him and for something else. So I will digress with that. That was my only complaint, but the action with him was just incredible. It was really great. To close out this, Goliath and all the gargoyles get together, and they're looking at New York City, and they're saying gargoyles are there to protect. It's this is not the actual scene, but it's kind of mimicking the scene where they're looking out to New York and realizing we've got to protect this entire place. There's no one else to protect the city. And I thought that was very interesting, that their goal was not just to protect the castle anymore, or to protect where they were now staying at the precinct, but to protect the entire city. So that was pretty cool.
Sorry. Yeah, I think we're about to touch on the same thing, where they ended off the episode with the guy that we've seen at the beginning of the episode robbing the same convenience store.
Oh, yes.
And they mentioned, you've robbed me 3 times this week.
Yes.
And the guy shows up. He's like, seriously, you were here yesterday. And he's like, I'm just here to return things, because 6 big guys told me to.
Yes, I love that.
Oh,
They
the
were
Trumps.
they made a difference, and they heard a story about somebody, trying to do a good thing by keeping the stores open in spite of being robbed,
Yeah,
and they
because the neighborhood needs it.
yeah, just a little influence on it because now they are the protectors, and they're already doing a great job. And
Mhm.
so one last thing, and that was actually the last thing that happened in the episode, and I
Yeah.
thought it was a really nice way to end the season as well. But before we go, I wanted to this one piece that I thought was really kind of interesting was just before that. Elisa asked, "Is there anything you need?" And Goliath says, "Yes, I need a detective." And I was like, "Ooh." Well, and then and then you see that they're flying. All the gargoyles are flying off, and he of course has her in his arms. There's two meanings, right? Behind that was one, he could need a detective to see if they can find cold stone anywhere. Like that could be one thing. But then again, he could also be saying like, "I need you," you know.
Yeah, being smooth.
And I thought that was really sweet. Yes, that ties up the
First
season one,
season, yeah.
which was absolutely wonderful. I enjoyed it so much, and all of the episodes really was fantastic. The writing is just incredible in this,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm so glad that we're doing season two coming up next. Let me just get the thing. So season two is coming up. The homework for today is we will be looking at season two, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is what we'll be covering next week for Gargoyles. Anything you want to say about uh, season 1?
A lot, I will say a lot of season 1 is not only just establishing the characters, it is setting up seeds for the future. There's a
Okay.
lot of stuff that we seemed innocuous during the season that will come back into play. And next season, it is really going to start ramping up. It is an absolute blast. I don't even remember what the first episode of next season is, but yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm super super excited for this because, yeah, I had so much fun with this. I'm really surprised
Mhm.
uh, that of the writing. The writing storytelling is just really powerful, and they really didn't have a lot of time to do this in these 20 something minute
Yeah.
episodes. They were able to stuff so much stuff. They were able to stuff so much action. Sometimes they usually have like one action set piece, but sometimes there would be 2, 3, and like the long way to morning. That one was just insanely uh,
Mhm.
just action packed the whole way through,
Yeah.
and and still filled with intrigue and mystery. That is difficult to achieve. That is very difficult. So I'm already. I was a big fan from the first episode, but I'm definitely loving this journey that we're going on, and I can't wait to see season 2, which is 52 episodes. So they had a lot of story to tell. I love the fact that they didn't just like say, okay, yeah, we're gonna double down. We are gonna quadruple down on this. Well, it was a pleasure. We're gonna go get to season 2 very soon. So we will see you guys again real soon. Sorry. I was mute. So, yeah, loved it. We are really diving super deep into the nitty-gritty of it all, and I am super just thrilled so far. Like the episodes that you haven't seen yet that we've taped. Oh my God, I've been having such a good time. Yeah, this really ties it all up. Like I was saying, I will probably be doing. Oh, can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me now? Somebody just let me know if you can hear me. Uh, oh, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah, Moonbeam says just I watched Gargoyles with my dad. We both like Gargoyles. I was 18 when the pilot aired. I was about to say, Mike, it's loud and clear now. Oh, awesome. And Mama Bear says I can hear you. And Grumpy says this is one of Disney's greatest IPs, and they do less with it than Tron. Ooh, I really don't like the people in charge of there. Oh yeah. There's a lot of other shows and ideas that or IPs that they haven't touched. And a lot of IPs that they haven't touched since they acquired them when they bought the companies that they bought. So really crazy. I hope they change that. And yes, loud and clear. Um, and let's see. And okay, what year did the Gargoyles first came out? It was 1984 and it went on to 1987. 1987. Oh, for Mamabear it was 1995. So, uh let's see. And oh, look, it's El Necron's here. Hello. Yeah, we just finished up. We did a nice little review of actually, I know that it says something different, but we went through episodes 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And next week, we're going to be off to season 2, which I got a nice little break. I've got a head start on it, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful so far. I can't say enough about season 2. But and Grumpy says over there, Retro Nerd, my bad. The internet spelling is my curse, and there's no stone sleep to cure. Okay, it's all right. I know. I really want one of those stone sleeps so I can wake up and be amazing. Actually need one of those. I actually need one of those. And Thomas says, I was like barely 11 or 12 when it came out. Geesh. It was awesome. Oh. And Grumpy says, well, it was released officially in 1994, then went out of the country. Oh, okay. I see. So they must have done a rollout. That sounds good. So yes, and just to let you guys know what's coming up ahead, tomorrow morning I will be doing my entertainment news segment. I have like over 20 stories. Usually I have over a lot of them, to the point that even last week I didn't finish all of them, so I have to finish them. I'll hopefully get to them tomorrow. And I will also be doing Oscar predictions, because next week we're going to have the Oscars, and we'll find out who the winners of those awards will be. And I can't wait to share that with you. So we're going to go through. That's going to be our Oscar celebration without actually having to, go through the entire process of watching the Oscars. Let's see. And is there one other? I think there's one other thing that I'm doing this week. Thursday, look out for a video from me this Thursday. I'm digging into the member archives and pulling out a video and making it public. So look out for that. It's going to be probably my first time watch on something. And let's see, I've also got a new movie to review. A watch party. Oh, guys, I'm going to be doing a watch party for Dune 1984 on Saturday. That's going to be amazing. Okay. I can't wait. I can't wait. That's going to be so much fun. So we're going to do that. And I think I'm going to decide by Saturday what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do a 2-week sabbatical or something, I don't know, just to get myself to recharge or whatever. Maybe it'll be 1 week or maybe 2 weeks, but I do need a small little break to recalibrate and get things together. So that way we can charge right into spring, like take off and just keep going. Where we're going, we don't need roads. So yeah, I love it. All right, guys. Oh, let's see if you guys, let's see if there was any more said. And Moonbeam also adds on to that 1994 to 1997, ending with the Goliath Chronicles. And according to the, there's some mixed reviews for the Goliath Chronicles, but I'm curious as to see what happened in that one, in that series. So we'll be reviewing it all together. And let's see. And Moonbeam says the Concrete Cure-All. Grumpy says, "'Tis a great series and even better as an adult." It's really suited for grown-ups, right? It really is. It was fantastic. And Mamabear Artdoll says, "I know I watched the premiere." Oh, so maybe they did something weird. A lot of these series do weird stuff with when they open and stuff like that. So who knows what happened there. And Grumpy says, "I miss syndication. It's much better than streaming." Oh yeah. I don't know. Well, I do. I like streaming because you can choose what time you want to see something, so you don't like actually miss it if you want it. Syndication was really cool though. Because it showed up, and you just adjusted your schedule to it. But now you have to. It's all about you and your schedule. So it's kind of better, but also. It was free, right? If you had a good TV, right? All you had to do was pay for cable and to get good transmission, and that was one fee. But now there's so many streamers, and there's so much that I think it was less expensive too. And Thomas says, I put it on now. Oh, that's cool. Okay, great. And Mommy says special episode in season 2. Which episode is that? I mean, don't give me the breakdown. Just tell me the name of it or the number. And Mamabear agrees with Grumpy about the syndication. And Grumpy says, "I think Gargoyles was the last 2-hour premiere that they did for a cartoon. After that, it was downhill." Ooh, yeah. I think at about that time I was. If it wasn't on Cartoon Network, I didn't have time for it. That was the only way I could catch a cartoon was on the Cartoon Network, and that was it. And the Cartoon Network was on 24/7. Literally, like I would go from the Disney Channel to the Cartoon Network. I really was way too old to be watching those things, but I thought if everything was so fresh and hopeful, and so I like that stuff. And Harvey says is agreeing, and Thomas says do the Spider-Man animated series cartoon. That's another brilliant one. Oh, interesting. And Mama Bear says Avatar: The Last Bender was. And Thomas likes Dune. Yes. Okay, great. I'm so glad that you like Dune. And Grumpy says, I missed your news last week, but I'm going to try again, Retro Nerd. Yes, yes. I mean, the replay is fine too, because I mean, I try to do as many stories as possible. Sometimes I get a lot of stories, so there may be quite a few stories on top of my my Oscar picks. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I've never done Oscar picks before, so I have a problem with making decisions sometimes, but yeah, I'm noticing with this Oscar picking. And Movie87 says Goliath Chronicles have new and old characters. It's a thrill ride. Ooh, you liked it? Okay, this is great. And Koj is here. Hi, Koj. How are you? Says breaks are good. Yeah, I'm really exhausted, and I just need a little break. I've been really going at it for 7 years. I don't think I've ever had taken a break, but I think things have been just ramping up and ramping up and ramping up really good. But I think I need to take a little break and recalibrate and saying hi. And says, yeah, roads are for the streets. Yeah. And Grumpy says, Avatar was Nickelodeon's, though. Yeah, I didn't go to Nickelodeon very much. Every once in a while, I'll go to take a peek at something there. Maybe some Fairly Odd Parents every once in a while, but I didn't. That was the only thing I could catch, I think, and I always love that. I did love that show. And Bertali says, Thomas says, much love, guys. Well, you have a great night. I'm going to add you to the closing. And let's see. Let's see. And yeah, Koj's, yeah, is right. Gargoyles holds up big time. Big time. I had no idea. I had no clue. And Grumpy says, it didn't need that name. It was just season 3, but they knew that um, they hadn't wrought their best, so they wanted a fancy name to attract. Okay, that makes sense. But if you're saying it's good, I want to. I definitely am excited for it now. A couple of people had said, "Oh, it was not as good," but yeah, I mean, the formula is right there. Like you just do what they did in season 2 and season 1, and use all those that really colorful background for your story. So hopefully they landed the plane. And Grumpy says Gargoyles works for kids and adults at the same time. It's an example I want to follow. Yeah, it does. I mean, as a kid, you could totally get into it. It's not like overstimulating or over their heads or anything, but and I think they would get a lot of enjoyment from it. But as an adult, you can really see all of the nuances, and each character has like so many layers to them. Like Demona is just like, she's just an incredible character, full of layers. MacBeth, another layerful character. Goliath, he's got layers to him too. And that he doesn't always make the right choice. Sometimes he makes mistakes. Elisa, another person who also makes mistake. Remember, she made mistakes, and the last time that made a big mistake, and the last time we did it, I think, right? I think she did. She made a big mistake at some point. she makes mistakes, and it's really great. Like to see that the characters aren't perfect. Like Xanatos is not really all totally bad. He's not a totally bad character. So, someone says, I can call in love with Brooklyn. I can call in love with Brooklyn and Broadway all over again. Oh, I know you meant fall. Yes, okay, we meant fall. Yes, fall in love with them. Yet they're so cute, and so they have great hearts. And Lexington is another one. He's so adorable. I every time I see him, I'm like, oh, I just want to give him a hug. And Grumpy says, I agree with that, Retro Nerio. I mean, as for a distribution, they had to make it good for syndication to be worth it. And the same as not requires for streaming. Yeah. I think the thing about streaming is that there's so much content on it too. Like if you're just looking for something, it's hard to you've got everything there. So what do you pick? Do you pick some show that they put out last week, or do you pick out like another one, one of your favorites, or do you want to expand, or it depends, but there's a lot of choices. And I read somewhere, especially with sales, that you really shouldn't give people more than like two choices, and three is really pushing it. But when you have like a page full of like 10 different things and you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I want to see? It's kind of hard to do that. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for streaming, but I don't like any of their pages where they show you when you go to their sites and they show you these like blocks of all these different movies, and I'm like, this is so just not user friendly. At least not user friendly to me. And Mama Bear says, I fell in love with Bronx all over again. Love that doggo. Yes, he's so cute. Oh God, he's so adorable. And Thomas says Bronx gets all the love. Yeah, he should get it. He's adorable. Koj says Bronx is legit. And loves the last Avatar, the Last Airbender. And Gumby says that's really because of that awful so-called education program law passed, and then that drove all cartoons to cable. Oh, really? I did not know that. Had no idea. And let's see. And Thomas says saw Dune on Saturday. Oh yeah, I managed to catch it on Sunday. It was really I have a lot to say about it. I have a lot to say about it. Most of it is good, but I do have some issues with it. But it is probably the most incredible movie that you will see right at this point in time in cinema history. It's really it is beautiful. It's really great. But I do have some issues with the story based on my knowledge of the books, and just some things I really wanted to see in it, and I didn't get to see it. But still full, Dune fans eating right now. And let's see, and Koj agrees with Grumpy, and Power 900 says Spider-Man the Animated Series will always be a Fox Kids classic. Oh, wow. And Jack is here. Hi, Jack. Says Aeon Flux. And yes, I love that. I love Aeon Flux. The cartoon or the animated cartoon was amazing. I did not get to see the movie, but yeah, I wish there was more of that. I did get a book, a comic book, graphic novel / special features book. It's like intense. I do love that book. And Moonbeam says, but I like the fancy name. I don't know the name. Just remember that it's this phrase, "Until the sky burns." Ooh. Yeah, that's for a future episode. And Spider-Man TS worst cliffhanger ever. Oh wow. And Koji says Tron Uprising is really good. Was great. And Mamabear says, like I said, we were well recorded ahead. Take some time off. Oh, thank you. Yes, we'll chat amongst ourselves about. Yeah, and Spider-Man had the best blind lawyer ever. Cool. Moonbeam says, and another and a blind lawyer. That's not that other character. I forgot his name. He was also a lawyer that's blind. Moonbeam says, and another phrase to remember: as long as the mountain stone. Oh yeah, yeah. And Koji says, that way is nice, in my opinion, Mamabear. I do that too. Recorded style is nice. Yes, recordings are great. I love them because, you know, they just shorten things up and make it really nice and for a person looking for something. If somebody's looking for content on the internet, and we're about to watch The Gathering. Yes, The Gathering. I can't wait. And Grumpy says, I know a lot of people soured on season 3, but I enjoy it. Oh, okay, cool. I don't hate the name of it. I didn't need it. I still watch all 3 seasons when I rewatch it. Oh, cool. This is really inspiring me with great expectation. And Grumpy also says, don't worry, you'll enjoy season 3 too. I hope so, yes. And Mama Bear says, and I will give full credit to her for planning this ahead. Yes, I am a bit of a planner, and I actually noticed something in our recordings that they actually get better as we do more of them. So. And yeah, it's great. I have like systems in place now. And Grumpy says Bronx is arguably the best character in the Gargoyles. That's so sweet. That is so sweet. And Moonbeam says, I like Goliath Chronicles. It might diverge from the original plot, but it lands the plane with a solid stone ending. Oh, a solid as stone ending. And Grumpy agrees Aeon was amazing. I love that. I love that. And Mama Bear says, I'm a sucker for animals, so naturally I gravitate towards Bronx. He's so lovable too. Bronx will scare you if you mess with the wrong people or you're just a nasty, if you're just a nasty, he will just he'll go after you. But if you are sweet, he will definitely give you a lick and and jump on you. Coaches is awesome. You both are great together. Good vibes, chemistry. Oh yes, we do have fun. We have so much fun. And Dan Candy says, "Hi kids." Oh, hi Dan. How are you today? I hope you're doing good. And Koji says, I feel you on the animals. Benji, the hunted, still emotionally wrecks me. Oh, that sounds bad. No, don't touch the animals. Grumpy says, I like it better than some of the candidates. The Goliath Chronicles is the best name to give it if it's going to get one. Oh, cool. And Grumpy says, if streaming had the same requirements of quality syndication, it would have been profitable before the pandemic. One thing is the menus for streamings are horrible. Yes, they're just terrible. They all need to be remade, and they all copy each other because they're all copying Amazon, really. Even Netflix. Well, actually, Netflix is the first. Amazon copied Netflix, but Amazon back in the day, I would say like maybe 5 years ago, their interface actually was much better than this new one that's trying to model itself after Netflix. And Netflix is just, I can't find anything. I have to like guess when I need, or if I already have uh, a, 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 a title I'm looking for, then I could type it in and search for it. But like just scrolling is really, really difficult to do. Very difficult. And and to be able to find something, and don't like not know the name of something and think you're gonna go there and find it. I mean, you'll be searching all day. And Kirby says, "I love that blind lawyer. He's my favorite blind lawyer." and Grumpy says, "Congress hates us." And let's see. More Bronx love. Moonbeam says Bronx is awesome and gets his own episode late in the season too for all the Bronx lovers out there, like Retro Nerd Girl and Mama Bear. Mama Bear loves him. Yeah, yeah, he's so adorable. And Grumpy says, "Am I the only one of my friends then who liked it? LOL, I still do." Oh. And Power 900 says Bronx was voiced by the legendary Frank Welker, absolutely known for doing a lot of animal and monster voices. Also been voicing Fred Jones from Scooby-Doo since 1969. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, he's so good in this too. He does like a whole bunch of different voices in this. And Grumpy says Frank is awesome. Yes, he's a legend. And yes, Until the Sky Burns is from the City of Stone. Yeah, that's it's so funny because I was editing that one recently. Yeah. And Grumpy says Uprising was good until they fired Cameron Pasha before the second half, and that's why it didn't get a second season. Oh, really? That's awful. And Daredevil, yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Grumpy, I was thinking of Daredevil. Yes, and Matt Murdock. It was Spidey's lawyer. Yeah, that's the blind lawyer. Yeah. Yes, guys. You nailed it. I just forgot that I kept Deadpool kept coming up in my mind. I was like, I know that's not it. I'm like sounding like a noob right now. I can't even say that out loud. But yes, definitely Daredevil, and I kind of liked the old movie that they did back in the day, and Elektra. I did like that corny stuff. And Power says Frank originally started off as a child star actor, I believe. Oh, interesting. We'll have to do some research on him. And Coach says, so that's what happened. That makes sense. Yeah. And I did not know the man had so much potential going for more. If they did, beautiful too, and great music. And um, and Mamabear Artdoll says I was really out of practice when we started. Yeah, I didn't know what we were doing. I was like, okay, what do we just go for it, and it's working out just fine. I loved our first episode, and all of them they're really turning out very well. And Grumpy says, "Hey, Sadness, I was really getting into that show, but like episode 6 through 12 went down because they didn't have Cameron there any longer, and they wanted to go in a different route." The Oh, okay, I had no idea. Uh, and Kojay says, "Thanks for the info. Makes sense looking back." Mama Bear says, I'm hypercritical on myself. Yeah, me too. Me too. And Grumpy says, is saying, you're welcome. Koji says, as long as being self-critical isn't being mean or harsh to yourself, I think it's naturally okay. I think so. But I think also too, just the desire to be better, I think there's something to be said for that, but it can also go the other way too. Dan Candy says, curious about your Dune thoughts, Retro. Will you be doing a stream about it? I'm actually gonna do something recorded for that one. And I'm not sure if I want to do it in my typical review format, if I want to change up my review style in general. We'll see what happens, but I think there's a lot going on in my noggin, and I think my brain is like, oh, you need to take a break. That's what's going on. So that I am thinking about changing everything up, and so I am gonna do a review of Dune. I think looking at the Dune 1984 is gonna help me with that review, and I'm gonna actually see Dune 2021 once more to kind of get my full assessment. And if it's still playing at a theater that I might be able to see it a second time. If I could see the movie a second time, that would be awesome. Just to firmly implant everything in my brain, because I believe I got everything in there. I just wanted to see there are details I want to see more. So that's something. And I'm just gonna zoom down. So admittedly, sometimes I'm working on it. Oh yes, but I thought you were fantastic. Yes, Koji says you got this, Mama. And I think we have a great way of going back and forth too. I don't know, I really love that. And Grumpy says it is unfortunately a requirement for us artists to improve. That's why I don't give a hard time about it as I do. Yeah, yeah, it's hard. And Mamabear says thanks, and Grumpy says couldn't have said it better to Koj. You guys are so sweet. And Grumpy says we have to all work on it and can't let it overtake our lives. It's supposed to be a tool, not the other way around. Yeah. I always try to look at some of my live streams and videos just to get a concept. Was that something that I think would be exciting for other people to watch, or is that something that I would want to watch? And there are often many videos I do enjoy, and then some of them I'm like, I better, I could improve, and then I write down notes you need to improve this, and you need to, and it works. Little adjustments here and there. And Grumpy says, is it Retro Nerd Girl Tron Uprising started out rather well halfway, and then they wanted to go in a different direction. Karen told them that it may not work. They foolishly decided to do it anyway. Oh, yeah. I didn't see it. I did watch the first Tron, and I do need to kind of catch up with Tron. So we'll see what happens. Eventually, I'll get on the Tron train. And movie says Deadpool and Daredevil both have red costumes. This is true. Yeah, I just for some reason I mixed them up, and I think just now because the new movie that's coming out, and they keep talking about Daredevil's going to have his own series, or he's going to have his own movie, or he's going to be a part of this, and bring us the Daredevil then. Stop telling us about what he's going to be in. I don't want to see him do any more cameos in any more shows. I want to let's hang out with Daredevil. It's been years now, 4 years, they're playing patty cake with Daredevil. like, give us the Daredevil story. I want it now. I want it now. And Grumpy, that they do. And let's see. And Thomas says Matt Murdock, however, was more gentleman. Has more gentleman class to him. Yeah, I think I think he's a sweetie. I think he's a sweetie. And Grumpy says, "Okay, I gotta ask because I can't spoil it. You're on the bridge of which ship?" Oh, this is the International Science Fiction Space Station, and this is just a little wing that they have carved out for me to do some monitoring of what's happening on Earth. We're taking some samples, and we're also archiving any movies that we can get our hands on. So we're we are doing a full and total archive of all of the human history movies that we can. And every once in a while, we have to go to distant planets to find them. And that's really a bummer, but also sometimes exciting. And Grumpy says, correction, Daredevil has class. LOL, Deadpool, especially not having any. Yes. But we love it, don't we? And Koji says, our own show on Friday, Saturday is live. Thanks for joining. I'm honored. Oh yeah, I'll be joining Koji for a show. And we'll are you posting that are you posting something soon? I'll try to spread it around. I'm really terrible at social media, but I'll try to get it out there. But yes, I'm doing something with Koji on Saturday, Friday and Saturday. And as we get closer, we'll have links and stuff for you guys. And Grumpy says, so much information flying through one's head is a singing of need for a break. Yes, it is. It is just so much. And so I think I definitely could use one. The more I'm talking to you guys, the more I think it's happening. I haven't seen the new Dune flicks yet. I need to. Yeah, it's actually really, really good. If you haven't seen or read any of the Dune stuff, I think you could just walk right into this and it'll be just fine. If you have seen the first Dune movie in 2021, but did not read the books and you watch this, you'll love it. It's probably going to be a 10 out of 10 for you. For me, because of my knowledge of the books, it does kind of feel a little strange seeing some of the changes and also lamenting over the parts that I thought, oh, it would be so nice to see it finally done in live action this time, and did not happen. So I can go into detail in my review, and I really want to put together my thoughts together. But I gave this a high score. This is like a 9.7 for me, so that's pretty high. That means I loved it, but I had some issues. And Mamabear says, absolutely, we feel like we've known each other for years. Yes, it's just great. I love it. And Koji says, that's Kimmer's dream magic. And Koji says, enjoy your wisdom and knowledge, Grumpy. Yes, Grumpy, you're incredible. And Grumpy says, sound like old friends reuniting over reminiscing about Gargoyles. It's pretty dang great. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm so glad that you guys like it and everything. Yes. I'm going to stop it. You guys are going to make me start crying. I'm going to start leaking, guys. I'll have Arnold Schwarzenegger ask me, why are you leaking? Or actually, why are your eyes leaking? Oh, it's just some water in there. And Grumpy says, not that much catching up to do, Retro, unless you want to play a couple of games that came out as well. And Bonzo Kilborn is here. Hi there. Retro is rocking all night long. Oh God. Well, not quite, but I am going to close things down in a few minutes. so I could get some rest for the morning show. So yeah, let's get to these really quickly. And Grumpy says, Disney is now working on Tron 3, and the promo shot info is not giving me hope. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's really hard. And we'll see. You know, Denis, not Denis, but I think the directors from Tron 2 will not be associated, I think, from my recollection. So I think that will change the style of it a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see when, yeah. I see. Retro Nerd Girls, a cool ship doesn't need warp it because it can see far out. Yes. And Tron games were good even on the Game Boy Advance. Had one person shooter, I think. Oh, okay. And Dan Candy is laughing. That's awesome, Retro. I didn't know you had a whole story set up for your background. It's face it. You know, hey, look, we're science fiction nerds over here. We get into these details of wild stuff here. Oh man. And movie says classic Tron is my favorite. And even places like Third Moon of Saturn, keep up the good work, Retro. Thank you. Thank you. And Grumpy says the third person PS3 Tron game was fun too, even though I've never beaten it. OJ. And is he's bad at posting. The timing is hard, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, let me know. I'll do my best to try to get the word out, or at least like my last. I'll try. And Koji says I need to find a copy lost PC game. And let's see. I'm just gonna zoom down really quickly. Thomas says I've read tons of Dune and know this. I never ever want to be a navigator. You know, navigator. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, they're first of all, they are like totally strung out on spice, and they just go through all of this body morphing stuff, and their physical bodies change into like more like fish creatures. It's just really crazy. They need to be supplied with spice 24/7. So that's why I love this that story. And Moby says my dad read the books of Dune. It's great. It's fantastic, man. Oh my goodness. And Koji says retro tear bending. Yes. And it's okay if you leak. You're supposed to enjoy this. Oh yeah, tears of joy. And Moonbeam says, gotta go. Ciao for now. Enjoy dancing to the outro. Yes, yes, and I'll add that to the outro. I think I'm almost closing into the end. And I think the Northern Tribe can help with that. And everybody's saying goodnight to Moonbeam. And I don't want to keep you up. Rest is good. Much love. Always a great time. Retro Mama, you're both wonderful. And Gargoyles, yes. And so good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. And Gobi says, no, that director, I'll remain cautiously optimistic for Tron 3, LOL. Yes, I think me too. You know, you never know. I think also the music is going to change because I've got the name of those Dead Mouse. They're not together anymore, and so I think they may not. But if they can come back for the movie, that would be great. And Mom First says retro does give off Princess Yui vibes. They do. Oh boy. And let's see. And Grumpy says that is an outro dance for sure. If I could dance, that is, yeah. Well, you don't have to do that much. Just be like, My favorite is the sort of the tube inflatable man dance where you're like, woo! That's the best. Oh man. And that's right. They die after one trip. Yeah. They're a mess. I don't know if anybody noticed, but in the 1984 version, the space gilding guys, as the movie continues on, they start off like kind of messed up. They have like snot coming out their nose, and it's just they look really like almost normal in the beginning, but by the end, they're really all messed up. So like the spice deforms them in a weird way. I think that's what they were trying to say in the first Dune. The even though all these advances you can have from the spice, it takes a hard toll on your body. And Thomas says all navigators were once human. Yeah, that's the wild part about it, and they go through those transformations, and it's funny. Like you're like, oh yeah, well, I want to take a trip somewhere, just knowing that somebody's got to die in order for you to take your trip. um, uh, and let's see. Well, Retro Nerd does more than the actress. I ouch, ouch, ouch. I didn't even see that. Yeah. Yeah, me too. I haven't even seen the thing to see what was going on. I heard there was a lot of people have mixed reviews on it, but I thought they did a great job as far as the physical look of that series. It looks good. Grumpy says, then good night. Stay safe out there, Koj. Oh yeah. Koj, you have a great one. Did you say you were leaving? Oh yes, you did. So yes, you have a great night, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. Uh, Hopefully you can hang out tomorrow morning if you're around, but if not, I'll see you on Friday. And Grumpy says it seems she shows up a bit early, but they're trying to push 20 episodes of story through like 8 episodes. Ooh, yikes! That's pretty tough. Okay, that inflatable car dealer man way was cool too. Yeah. I mean, first of all, you get your exercise, you get a giggle, and you pick something like an 80s like song from like Erasure or one of those guys, and you just do that dance. And yes, she says, versus I've heard, I was hoping for a longer season. Yeah, I thought they were going to really get into this. I'm really surprised they did a very short season. Really wild. And Jack says you would like the Aeon Flux movie. It's about cloning. Oh, Jack, you know me very well. You know me very. I love cloning. Gabrielle Ninja says, Dune 1984 did take some liberties, but it too was pretty good. Yeah, I think it did. I think now looking at, the idea of trying to fit everything into one movie, it was incredibly ambitious, and they did it. They fit all that story in, but I think they did take a lot of people out of the story by making it very, very exposition heavy, and some people they just couldn't get into it, and that's a shame. But I thought it was a really great story, and the way it was told, the visuals are just sick. Like as far as like costuming and some of the rooms, the actual sets that they made for the film were gorgeous, and everything about all of the characters is just fascinating. And by seeing the movie, that got me interested in the book. So good on the movie for that. And he says, that's fatal error of the Netflix series of anime. You can cram that much story into that a small container, and yet they are both better than the Cowboy Bebop adaptation, if one can call it that. And I didn't hate it, Jack, but I expected more. I still thought it. I still bought it. And Thomas says, my sister loves the Last Airbender Netflix show. Oh, cool. See, that's what I've been hearing. Like, some people like it, and some people are kind of like, they're not saying it's bad, like, but there are some complaints about characters and some things maybe that weren't perfect, but not like, nobody's like completely saying it's horrible. I'm sure there's probably one or two people are probably like, no, this isn't what I wanted. And the live action Avatar as a TV series is the correct way to go, but you have to do at least 20 episodes. There's no point. Oh, okay. And the first Dune book in one movie is not simply a simple task. Yeah, it's not. It is not a simple task, and they actually did do it. It's just a lot of stuff was missing. But then we have, two movies now where there is enough time to put all that stuff in there, and they too did a lot of things that they forgot to didn't put that in there. So I feel like maybe Dune just needs a series, or and when I say a series, I don't mean 8 episodes, and I don't mean I don't mean like the mini series thing that they did, which they did include. Is probably the most complete version of Dune, but I just there's just so many juicy moments that I was like, yes, I can't wait to see this, and we don't get the payoff, so it's just kind of, darn it, am I ever going to see that in live action? And Thomas says, you make people want more. You make people want more. And Grumpy says, some complain that he spent 500 pages describing Sam. A little harsh. Oh no, yeah, that's a little bit too much. It's a fantastic movie. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie. And I wonder if you could, if you needed 3 parts to really do it. And Jack says, I always wanted to get Cowboy Bebop live action full blown movie. Oh, well, yeah. I don't know if they'll do it now. If they did, they're probably going to look to One Piece as an example, because people seem to really love that. And he says, you see, that's what Japan does best. Anime sells manga, and manga sells anime. Oh, cool. And Thomas says, I like the new Pokemon Horizons TV show. I've been watching the Japanese version. Oh, that's hardcore, I think, but I bet it's good. I could, and Grumpy says, just not, I can understand that there is good there, just not enough thus far for me. Still better than Shyamalan, but only by a hair. Only by a hair. I think the casting alone is like a huge improvement, and also the visuals of the of the different elements is definitely much better, because they had the rock people, and it was like and then they're like waiting for like a long time for anything to happen. I'm like, wait a minute, where's the rock? Oh, that's it. It's really slow. You're gonna die. It was really weird. Grumpy says more episodes should solve so many problems. And Thomas says the show is better than the Airbender film. They did give it that, yes. And Grumpy says it's a shame it's never been made. And Mama Bear says there's no Shyamalan movie in Basingi. Oh, Basingi. What did I figure? And Thomas says it's been great. Okay, it does that. And let's see. Grumpy says I haven't seen the new Pokemon show yet. And let's see. Thomas says I'm a hardcore Pokemon player after all. You guys are just that's why only why I hear Regina visuals are so improved and the story is so lacking due to trying to compress so much into short story in amount of time in a short amount of time. Oh, that's terrible. And Thomas says the new Pokemon show is more about how they treasure hunt and find themselves mysterious myth, legend, Pokemon, and treasure hunters. Interesting. And Bossing say, oh, what is that? And Jack says Dune seems to be almost unfilmable. I think so. I'm starting to believe it. There's just so much going on. I think so. I think it's that's the final decision. That's just unfilmable. I will definitely quote you. I will definitely say exactly that. And Mama Bear says, Bossing say is it's a reference to the animated Avatar show. Oh, okay. All right. And Grumpy says, I've been on Pokemon since 1994. All right. Well, guys, I think this is the end here. I think we've gone through all of the amounts of conversation we could have about this. This is just amazing. Oh, and the net's back. So sorry. Sorry for going. My internet went out. Oh no, you're good. And and Mama Bear says a parent which we need to watch. And let's see. And Grumpy says, if Retro Underground Mama Bear review Avatar, I'll be there. All right, yeah. And I am definitely gonna head out because I definitely need to get some sleep before my show tomorrow. So everyone, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. This was fantastic. We had such a great conversation along the way in the chat. So if you're just getting here, or anybody is a latecomer or a replay guy or girl, do go into the comments and check out what's going on there. They're really great. And also, if you're around tomorrow, definitely I have my morning show. And besides that, I think I'm gonna bid you guys adieu. Yes, without further ado, I bid you adieu. Oh no. Yes. Without further ado, I bid you adieu. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.